Hello everyone. Today I got 3 more exciting, fantastic horror books for you guys to check out. These ones bring all the chills, they bring all the scares, and they might even make you think a little bit different about the world we live in. Let me put it that way. I think you'll love all 3 of these, and you'll definitely want to check them out. And as a reminder, I have horror books for sale. And you can find the books you see on your screen along with others at the link in the description. And if you want to join my Patreon, I've just uploaded for my Patreon members 5 more absolutely free horror books by different authors. Check that out, plus you get free short horror stories every month. So if that's something you're interested in, there's a link down below for that as well. All right, let's get started. So the first book I want to talk about today is called Blood Like Mine. This one is fantastically creepy, and by the end it's outright terrifying. It's about a woman and her daughter, and for a long time they have been on the run. They travel in an old decrepit van, something that doesn't draw attention. They keep to themselves. The mother won't allow her daughter to have any contact with anybody else. She tells her don't talk to anybody, even if they talk to you first, even if they seem friendly. They do not want to be remembered anywhere they go because they are on the run. And the relationship between this mother and daughter is sometimes contentious, but you can tell that they love each other. Now at the same time, there's an FBI detective who is slowly becoming unraveled over some things in his past, and also a case he's working on, which he believes is the work of a serial killer, but it's a very strange, macabre case, as you'll find out. However, he's kind of being thwarted at every turn, because the things he believes is happening, he can't prove. So his superiors and even his partners start to doubt him and his instincts. He can't seem to get any official leeway to investigate the way he wants to anymore. I'll just put it that way, because you really have to read about that. And he's slowly becoming, as I said, mentally unraveled because of this case. Now, this case is eventually going to lead to this mother and daughter, specifically the daughter. But what that is, I'm not going to tell you, because, as I said, this book starts out mysterious. You know, what's up with the mother, what's up with the daughter, but then it just becomes downright terrifying when we find out the truth and how they are kind of connected to these murders, but not in a way that you'd expect. But this is a very well written. I mean, the characters are all just simply fantastic. They just draw you in right from the beginning. You got this little mystery about the mother and daughter. Then you got this horrific serial killer case, and then it just becomes full blown horrific. Yeah, I absolutely flew through this book because I loved it that much. It's just very engaging, very well paced, and you'll definitely want to pick it up for yourself. And I will leave a link down below where you can pick up your copy through Amazon. And next we have The Devil's Face. Oh, this one is a banger. This is a straight up supernatural horror story. It's got some small town horror in there. And it just, like right from the beginning, like the first 2 chapters are going to show 2 different people. And at the end of those chapters, each of them are going to come to a very horrific fate. Let's put it that way. So, I mean, this book draws your attention right from the beginning, and it doesn't let go all the way through. Our main character is a guy named Lev. He's from the UK. He's a sound engineer for a up-and-coming, very popular rock and roll band. But that band happens to be on hiatus right now. So he takes a gig in America in a small town called New Scotland. And he's going to be the sound guy for a new paranormal reality kind of show that's going to examine haunted houses and things like that. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But in this town, there is a house that has a very bad reputation. Like everybody in town, everybody knows. Even the sheriff, who's going to play a big role in this book, and you read about that. She, when she first meets him and the director, tells them, don't do this. Just don't. Like, examine anything else in town. Go to the next town. Just do not go inside that house. Because even though she's very rational and she's kind of a skeptic when it comes to most paranormal things, she believes that this house has some really bad intentions. And the thing is, this house isn't haunted and it's not cursed. It's something much more terrifying. But Lev and the director, you know, they're not going to just give up on the gig, of course. So they decide to do an exploratory investigation of the house before they start shooting. They make their way eventually to the basement and they find a crack in the concrete. And that's where the terror begins. Because when they leave the house, for what they think might have been 45 minutes, hours have passed. They've lost hours of their lives and they don't know what happened or why that is, why they can't remember. They remember going in, they remember leaving, but everything in between is kind of a blur. And that is going to set off a chain of events that is just going to terrorize not only them, but everybody, everybody associated with this production, everybody else in town, because something evil lives underneath that house. And anybody that goes in, anybody that has anything to do with it, is going to suffer the wrath of this evil. And the events start piling up and piling up. Everything gets creepier and creepier and creepier as the book goes along, and pretty soon you start realizing that sometimes this entity will just drive people insane. It will just drive them crazy. Like they are very much a danger to themselves and others, as this thing seems to kind of possess maybe or take them over. It definitely is going to leave a mark on each and every one of those people. And you have this great cast of side characters also that are going to be involved. Some are good, some are not, but you'll figure that out as you're reading. But you never know who's going to die. You never know who's going to succumb to this or succumb to somebody else who has. And so it really builds the tension really nicely. And again, it's one of those books that just catches your imagination right from the beginning and just doesn't let go. Full throttle, full steam ahead. It's just a great supernatural, terrifying horror story. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. High octane, baby. You gotta love it. And of course, I highly recommend it to you as well. And there is a link down below where you can pick up your copy in the description. And next we have the Ayers Ridge Trail. Now this one's not coming out until March 4th, but the pre-order link is in the description, and you don't want to let this one pass. You don't want to take a chance of not pre-ordering it and then forgetting about it, because you definitely want to read this book, especially if you're like your horror a little bit on the weird side, like I do, and it will maybe make you rethink reality. This is the book for you. This is about a place called the Ayers Ridge Trail, but here's the thing, this place doesn't exist. Or should I say, it shouldn't exist. There's no way possible in this world it should exist. And it's about a group of people who find themselves on the Ayers Ridge Trail, and they should not be there. But once they are in, they can't get back out. But here's the thing about this trail and all these people. They not only come from different locations, different parts of the country, and we'll find out eventually there are other people in their different parts of the world, but they come from different times. One of the characters thinks it's 2024, one of the characters thinks it's 2020, another character thinks it's 1970 because that's the time she entered the trail. But in this place they find themselves, time works much, much different. Eventually they all will meet and form a little group. But here's the thing about this Ayers Ridge Trail, this place that doesn't exist, that shouldn't exist, is that the landscape can change in the blink of an eye sometimes. Like you take one step and you're in a desert atmosphere. A couple steps later, that changes to a beach and an ocean. A couple steps later, you're looking at a mountain peak with with snow on top. Maybe some plains, maybe a field, maybe an orchard. It's an ever-changing landscape which disorients them, and they never know exactly where they are, how much time has passed, because time is really meaningless here, or which direction they are going, trying to find their way out. But that's not the only thing. This place has some very terrifying things that want to kill them. Little humanoid creatures that run around on all fours with a face full of very sharp teeth that attack in packs. Something is stalking them that they call the Beast. It's a huge, hulking, skyscraper-tall creature. And when it walks, it shakes the ground, and anything in its path is just destroyed. And it's stalking them through these different landscapes, never knowing when it's going to show up, and they have to run for their lives. And the other good thing about this book is that there's a couple of dogs. A couple of the characters have dogs, and one of them, here's the thing, one of them, his dog died before he entered this trail. His dog died, but when he gets on the trail, the dog is alive. Not only alive, but in better health than it's been for many years. The other character, his dog, was an older dog, like 18 years old, arthritic, in a lot of pain sometimes. But even that dog seems to have regained its youthful vigor being in this place, because it works differently for them than their masters. Now, I know a lot of people don't like horror when it comes to animals, especially if it depicts those animals dying. I get it, I do. But let me say this. There is one scene in here that will probably make you very sad. I'll put it that way. But trust me when I say it's not as bad as you think, and it will have a much happier ending than what you believed at that time. That's all I'm going to say about it, okay? But just a warning, you will get some of that, but it's not what it seems. I'll just say that. And you'll have to read about it, of course, for yourself, but it's very effective. And the dogs will play a pretty major role in them not only surviving, but something's going to happen at the end that's going to very bittersweet, I guess you can say, very heartwarming. So be looking forward for that too. Yeah, this one is great. Like I said, great characters, this really weird, twisted setting, and you just have to keep reading to find out what's going to happen next. Yeah, it's a banger. Of course, I loved it. And of course, I highly recommend it. And as I said, there's a pre-order link where you can pick up your copy. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.